The first day of the spring semester at Ashton University brought with it a sense of excitement and anticipation. Students hurried across the campus, their voices mingling with the rustle of papers and the distant hum of city life beyond the university gates. Among them was Emma, a diligent student, carrying her books tightly against her chest. Her mind was preoccupied with the new courses, assignments, and the small nervousness that comes with the start of another academic term. Lucas, a new transfer student, wandered through the campus with a casual stride, headphones resting around his neck, music playing softly. Everything he felt new: the layout of the library, the familiar yet strange faces, the aroma of freshly baked bread from the campus cafe. As he turned a corner near the main lecture hall, he accidentally collided with Emma, causing her books to tumble to the ground. "I am so sorry," Lucas exclaimed, kneeling to help gather her notebooks. Emma looked up, momentarily startled, but met his eyes. There was a strange, immediate connection, something unspoken yet compelling. "It's okay," she said softly, brushing off her clothes and taking the last notebook from him. "I should have watched where I was going." Their fingers brushed briefly, sending a slight jolt through both of them. Lucas smiled, extending his hand. "I am Lucas." "Emma," she replied, shaking it. There was a warmth in his gaze that made her heart skip a beat, though she barely knew him. The collision that had seemed inconvenient moments ago now felt like fate. In the following weeks, Emma and Lucas found themselves crossing paths more often. Study groups, library visits, and accidental meetings in the corridors became the backdrop to a friendship that was quickly deepening. Emma admired Lucas's easygoing nature, his sense of humor, and the way he seemed to notice the small things, like the titles of her favorite books or the sketches she left in the margins of her notebook. Lucas, in return, was drawn to Emma's intelligence, her quiet confidence, and the way her presence could make even the dullest campus corners feel alive. They began spending time together beyond academics, walking through the campus gardens, sharing meals at the cafe, and sometimes sitting in quiet corners of the library talking about life, dreams, and the little peculiarities that made them who they were. Each conversation seemed effortless, as though they had known each other far longer than a few weeks. One afternoon, while sharing a bench and in the sprawling oak tree near the science building, Lucas spoke more candidly than he had before. "Emma," he began, his voice hesitant, "I don't know why, but I feel like meeting you. It wasn't just coincidence." Emma turned to him, her heart fluttering. "I feel the same," she admitted softly. They shared a moment of silence, the world around them fading into insignificance. Their friendship slowly turned into something deeper. Subtle touches, shared laughter, and lingering glances became commonplace. Emma noticed herself looking for Lucas in crowded hallways, anticipating the warmth of his presence. Lucas found himself thinking about Emma when she wasn't around, replaying her smile in his mind, cherishing every shared moment. Yet, life at university was busy and unpredictable. Assignments, projects, and obligations pulled them in different directions, but they always found a way back to each other. They studied late into the evenings, shared small victories, and comforted each other in times of stress. Their connection was becoming the anchor in their daily lives, a quiet certainty in a world of constant change. One rainy day, as they waited and in the library awning, Lucas finally voiced what had been growing in his heart for weeks. "Emma, I like you," he said, his voice soft but earnest. Emma felt her chest tighten, and a smile broke across her face. "I like you too, Lucas," she whispered. The rain fell around them, and noticed, as they stood there holding hands for the first time, letting the moment linger. As the semester continued, their bond strengthened. Campus walks turned into thoughtful conversations under the stars, coffee breaks into shared plans for the future, and library study sessions into intimate moments of understanding and care. Every day, they discover more about each other, building memories that felt timeless and precious. However, the undercurrent of reality was never far. Lucas's transfer status meant that his time at Ashton University was temporary. Neither of them wanted to acknowledge it, focusing instead on the present, savoring every smile, every laugh, every touch. But deep down, the shadow of impending separation added a bittersweet layer to their joy, a quiet reminder that some stories, no matter how beautiful, are transient. The first chapter of their journey ended with them sitting together and in the old oak tree at sunset, the campus bathed in warm golden light. Emma leaned against Lucas, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't known before, while Lucas held her close, silently wishing time would stand still. In that fleeting moment, they understood the power of connection, the beauty of shared hearts, and the inevitable ache of knowing that not all love stories last forever. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the campus, they held on to each other, cherishing the beginning of something precious, knowing that some endings, however painful, are simply a part of life. The winter semester had settled over Ashton University, and the campus was now blanketed in snow. The once vibrant autumn leaves had vanished, leaving behind a stark but serene beauty. Emma and Lucas had grown closer in these past weeks, their bond deepening with every shared smile, whispered secret, and lingering glance. Their study sessions had evolved into long walks around the frozen campus lake, cozying up in the library corners with hot chocolate, and discovering the small joys of life together. Emma often found herself thinking about Lucas in moments when the university corridors felt empty. The warmth of his hand in hers, the comfort of his laughter, and the quiet confidence he exuded became constants in her otherwise chaotic student life. Lucas, in turn, admired Emma's determination and her ability to see beauty in ordinary moments, the way she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear while reading, or how she hummed softly when she thought no one was listening. One evening, as the campus lights flickered on, Lucas invited Emma to the old observatory on the hill. He had brought a small telescope, excited to show her the constellations above. They climbed the steps in silence, the cold air biting at their cheeks, until they reached the top. Emma's eyes widened as she looked through the telescope, spotting craters on the moon and the faint glow of distant stars. "Wow," she breathed. "I never realized the universe was so vast." Lucas smiled, watching her fascination. "It's amazing, isn't it? Makes all our little worries seem so small." He paused, then added softly, "But even in this vast universe, I feel like I've found something incredibly precious. You." Emma's heart skipped. She turned to him, the snowflakes catching in her hair, and found her voice trembling slightly. "Lucas, I feel the same. Being with you makes everything feel lighter, like I can actually breathe." They spent hours up there, talking about dreams, fears, and hopes for the future. The world below seemed distant, insignificant compared to the connection they shared at that moment. It was a night filled with intimacy, not of grand gestures, but of quiet presence, mutual understanding, and unspoken promises. Back in the dorms, their relationship continued to blossom. Friends began to notice the way they often gravitated toward each other in group projects, how their laughter seemed synchronized, and the subtle way Lucas would leave a scarf around Emma's neck during particularly cold days. Every small act became a testament to their growing affection, a love nurtured in the ordinary rhythms of daily life. However, the shadow of reality loomed. Lucas's transfer papers indicated that by the end of the semester, he would have to leave Ashton University. They tried to ignore it, immersing themselves in studies and the present, but the knowledge of impending separation created a delicate tension beneath the surface of their happiness. They found themselves cherishing each moment even more, aware that time was finite, and some joys, however intense, are transient. One chilly evening, Emma and Lucas attended a university event in the main auditorium. The room was decorated with strings of fairy lights, and soft music played in the background. Emma felt a pang of melancholy as she looked at Lucas, imagining the day when he would no longer be by her side. She decided to push the thought away and simply enjoy the moment. Lucas noticed her distant expression. He reached out, taking her hand gently. "Hey, what's on your mind?" he asked, concern in his voice. Emma forced a smile. "Nothing, just thinking about stuff." He squeezed her hand reassuringly. "We'll deal with it when the time comes. Right now, let's just enjoy tonight." And enjoy they did. They danced, laughed, and lost themselves in the warmth of each other's presence. Every shared glance was a reminder of the connection they had built, a bond that transcended the ordinary, leaving traces of love in their hearts. As the semester progressed, the reality of Lucas's departure drew closer. They spent evenings walking along the paths, studying together, and creating memories in quiet corners of the campus. Each day became a precious gift, a reminder that love is not measured by permanence but by the depth of moments shared. In the quiet of one library evening, surrounded by the soft rustle of pages and the occasional whisper of fellow students, Lucas leaned closer to Emma. "Promise me something," he asked, his voice low and serious. Emma looked at him, sensing the weight behind his words. "Anything," she replied. "Promise me that no matter what happens, you'll always remember this, us. That this chapter of our lives, however short, mattered," he said. Emma nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "I promise." And so, as the winter snow continued to fall over Ashton University, Emma and Lucas held on to each other, cherishing the moments that would soon become memories. Their love had grown deeper, more tender, and yet the bittersweet truth of life lingered. Some stories are meant to be beautiful but brief. They had discovered the power of connection, the joy of shared dreams, and the inevitability of endings that are as much a part of love as beginnings. The campus of Ashton University had begun to bloom with the colors of early spring. Cherry blossoms lined the pathways, and the gentle warmth of the sun encouraged students to spend more time outdoors. Emma and Lucas found themselves walking together along the avenues, enjoying the fleeting beauty of the season. Their relationship had deepened significantly over the past weeks. What had started as friendship was now blossoming into a tender and meaningful love. One afternoon, Lucas suggested they take a walk to the small, secluded pond behind the science building, a spot he had discovered shortly after arriving. The water reflected the blue sky and the blooming trees, creating a sense of serene isolation away from the bustling campus life. Emma marveled at the tranquility, feeling a rare sense of peace when she was with Lucas. "I'm glad you brought me here," Emma said softly, her voice almost drowned by the gentle rustle of leaves. "It feels like a secret place, just for us." Lucas smiled, watching her face light up in the sunlight. "That's exactly what I wanted. Somewhere quiet, where we can just be ourselves." He took a deep breath, then added, "There's something I've been meaning to tell you, Emma. Something important." Emma's heart skipped a beat, sensing the gravity of his tone. She turned to face him, eyes searching his. "What is it, Lucas?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. He hesitated for a moment, gathering his thoughts. "Emma, I love you. I've felt it for a while now, and I can't keep it to myself anymore. I had to tell you. His gaze was steady, vulnerable, and sincere. Emma felt a rush of emotions flood her chest. She had hoped, deep down, that he felt the same way. Tears welled up in her eyes as she reached out and took his hands in hers. Lucas, I love you too, she admitted, her voice trembling with a mixture of relief and joy. I've been afraid to say it, but yes, I love you. For a moment, the world around them seemed to disappear. The pond, the trees, the distant hum of the campus, all faded as they shared that perfect, fleeting instant of mutual confession. They stood silently, hands entwined, hearts racing, feeling the magnitude of their emotions. From that day on, their relationship shifted into a new, more intimate dimension. They spent more time together, not just studying or walking, but truly understanding each other. They shared childhood memories, personal fears, and unspoken dreams. Every moment spent together seemed to weave a stronger bond, making it clear that their connection was not just a fleeting crash, but something deeper, something enduring. Even in the midst of academic pressures, they found solace in each other. Late nights in the library were filled with whispered jokes and shared snacks. Walks to class became moments of quiet affection, their fingers brushing, their shoulders touching. Emma discovered that Lucas had a talent for sketching, and he began leaving small, heartfelt drawings in her notebooks, little reminders of his affection. She, in turn, wrote short notes and messages, slipping them into his backpack or leaving them on his desk. These small exchanges became a language of their own, a testament to the growing intimacy and understanding between them. Yet, amidst the joy, the reality of their situation loomed quietly. Lucas's transfer meant that his stay at Ashton University was limited, and while neither spoke of it openly, the knowledge lingered in the background of their happiness. They cherished every shared moment with a heightened awareness of its fragility, savoring the laughter, the warmth, and the simple pleasures of each other's company. When evening, after a long day of classes and study sessions, Lucas invited Emma to the university rooftop. The city lights glittered below them, and the stars above shone with a clarity that seemed almost unreal. They sat side by side, the cool breeze brushing against their faces, and Lucas took a deep breath. Emma, he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion. Being with you these past weeks, it's been the happiest time of my life. I don't know what I'd do if we had to part ways, but I want you to know how much you mean to me. Emma turned to him, eyes glistening with ancient tears. Lucas, you mean the world to me too. I don't want this to end either. I just wish we had more time. He smiled softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. We'll make the most of every moment we have. I promise. As the semester continued, their love grew more profound, more intertwined with the rhythms of their daily lives. They faced challenges together, stress from exams, misunderstandings, and the occasional jealousy or insecurity, but each obstacle only strengthened their bond. They learned to communicate openly, support each other unconditionally, and celebrate the small victories that life offered. By the end of chapter 10, Emma and Lucas had not only confessed their love but had begun to build a relationship rooted in trust, understanding, and deep affection. They knew that the future held uncertainties, but for now, they were content to live fully in the present, cherishing the beauty of love discovered and shared in its purest form. Spring had settled over Ashton University, and the campus was alive with colors, laughter, and the renewed energy of students returning from a shared break. Emma and Lucas were inseparable, walking together through the sprawling lawns, attending lectures side by side, and sharing quiet conversations over coffee at the campus cafe. Their relationship, now firmly rooted in mutual affection, had grown more comfortable and intimate, with each discovering nuances of the other that deepened their connection. Emma often found herself marveling at Lucas's charm, the subtle way he made her laugh even when she felt overwhelmed by assignments, the thoughtful gestures that reflected his attention to detail, and the quiet encouragement he offered when she doubted herself. Lucas, in turn, admired Emma's resilience, intelligence, and the gentle way she cared for those around her. They had discovered a rhythm, a shared world within the larger university life, where each moment together felt like a treasure. One afternoon, Lucas surprised Emma with tickets to a small art exhibition hosted on campus. The gallery was intimate, filled with students' works, and the soft lighting created an atmosphere of quiet reflection. Emma's eyes lit up as she admired the paintings, sketches, and photographs, noting Lucas's evident excitement at sharing this experience with her. "Look at this one," Lucas said, pointing to a watercolor of the campus pond at sunset. "It reminds me of our walks there." Emma smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. "It's beautiful, just like the memories we've made." They spent hours exploring the gallery, discussing the pieces, sharing thoughts, and laughing at the humorous vans. It was in moments like these that their relationship felt effortless, natural, and unbreakable. Yet, beneath the joy, a certain unease lingered. Lucas's eventual departure was an unspoken reality, a shadow hovering quietly behind their happiness. They tried to ignore it, immersing themselves in the present, but the knowledge of impending separation occasionally cast a faint melancholy over their otherwise blissful days. As the semester progressed, exam season approached. The pressure of assignments, presentations, and tests weighed heavily on both of them. Emma sometimes noticed Lucas staying up late into the night, buried in notes, or walking the quiet campus paths lost in thought. She felt a mixture of pride and concern, wanting to support him while also acknowledging the strain he carried. One evening, as they studied together in the library, Emma noticed Lucas's distracted expression. "You've been quiet tonight," she observed, gently nudging him. "Is everything all right?" Lucas paused, sighing softly. "I'm just thinking about the future," he admitted. "About what comes after the semester. I don't want to think about leaving, but it's impossible to ignore." Emma reached out, taking his hand in hers. "We'll face it together, whatever comes," she said softly. "For now, let's focus on the present, the moments we can enjoy together." That night, they walked through the campus under a sky dotted with stars. The crisp air carried the faint scent of blooming flowers, and the gentle hush of the evening seemed to envelop them in a private world. They talked about hopes, dreams, and the little absurdities of life that made each day memorable. Laughter interspersed with quiet moments of reflection, their bond deepening with every shared sentiment. In the following weeks, they created a collection of small memories, picnics on the campus lawn, quiet mornings in the library, and conversations beneath the oak tree where they had first spoken openly about their feelings. Each moment was savored, treasured, and etched into their hearts, knowing that these simple joys were the essence of their relationship. Yet, moments of doubt crept in. Lucas's transfer meant that time together was limited, and both of them felt the silent weight of impending separation. They began to notice the fragility of their happiness, the delicate nature of their love, and the bittersweet awareness that joy and sadness often coexist. They held tighter to each other, aware that the strongest memories often arise from the awareness of impermanence. One afternoon, Emma stumbled upon a note Lucas had left tucked in her notebook. It was a simple message. "No matter what happens, remember that these moments are ours. Cherish them always." Emma's eyes welled up as she read it, realizing that their love, though beautiful, was shadowed by an inevitable reality. She tucked the note close to her heart, silently promising herself to hold on to their memories, come what may. By the end of chapter 4, Emma and Lucas had shared countless moments of joy, laughter, and intimacy, yet they had also begun to confront the underlying tension of their temporary time together. Their love was growing stronger, yet the shadow of uncertainty reminded them that even the most profound connections can carry an unspoken ache. They learned to balance happiness with awareness, to embrace every shared moment fully, and to treasure the fleeting beauty of love in its most delicate form. The final weeks of the semester at Ashton University arrived with a mix of excitement and tension. The campus buzzed with activity, students preparing for final exams, projects being submitted, and graduation plans slowly taking shape. Amidst the rush, Emma and Lucas clung to each other, cherishing every fleeting moment as the inevitability of his departure loomed ever closer. Each day together felt both precious and fragile, a reminder that their love was beautiful but impermanent. Emma often found herself lost in thought, walking along the paths of the campus, replaying memories of laughter, whispered secrets, and quiet evenings with Lucas. She knew that soon these moments would become memories, tangible only in her heart. Lucas, too, carried a sense of melancholy beneath his usual easygoing demeanor, aware that each shared smile, each touch, each conversation was a moment borrowed from time itself. One chilly afternoon, Lucas suggested a walk to the campus hill, a place they had first visited together early in the semester. The path was lined with bay trees, the earth slightly damp from recent rain, and the air carried a crisp freshness. They walked side by side in silence, their hands occasionally brushing, as a reminder of the intimacy they shared. Emma, Lucas began, his voice soft and hesitant. I've been thinking about what comes after this semester. I don't want to leave, but I also don't want to hold you back. Emma looked at him, feeling a lump in her throat. I know, she whispered. I've been trying not to think about it, but it's always there in the back of my mind. He stopped walking, turning to face her. The vulnerability in his eyes mirrored the anxiety in her own heart. I wish we had more time, he said. More moments together without this shadow over us. Emma reached out, taking his hands in hers. We can't control time, Lucas, but we can make every moment count, every day matter. They stood in silence for a while, holding each other, letting the weight of their emotions settle into a quiet understanding. The campus around them seemed to blur, leaving only the two of them and the bittersweet reality they faced. In the days that followed, Emma and Lucas threw themselves into creating lasting memories. They revisited their favorite spots, the oak tree where they had first shared secrets, the small pond behind the science building, and the quiet corners of the library that had become their sanctuary. Every shared laugh, every lingering touch, every whispered word became a treasure, a defiance against the inevitable farewell that awaited them. Even amidst the joy, tension occasionally surfaced. Small disagreements, moments of insecurity, or fleeting doubts would remind them that their time together was finite. But each challenge was met with care and patience, a reflection of the depth of their love and the maturity with which they approached it. They learned to navigate the delicate balance between embracing the present and acknowledging the impermanence of their relationship. One evening, after a long day of classes and studying, Lucas surprised Emma with a small gift, a scrapbook he had made filled with photos, sketches, and mementos of their time together. Emma's eyes welled up as she turned the pages, seeing their journey captured in tangible form. Lucas, this is perfect, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. He smiled softly. I wanted you to have something to remember us, no matter where life takes us. Emma hugged him tightly, feeling the ache of impending separation alongside the warmth of their love. They spent the night reminiscing, sharing stories of how they met, moments that made them laugh, and memories that would forever bind them together. It was a night of bittersweet joy, a celebration of love shadowed by the inevitability of goodbye. As the semester neared its end, the tension became impossible to ignore. Both knew that the day of parting was approaching, a reality they had been trying to delay. Yet, in the face of this knowledge, their love did not waver. Instead, it deepened, becoming a source of strength and comfort. They embraced each other more tightly, spoke words of affection more freely, and held on to the preciousness of the present with unwavering focus. Chapter Punch closed with Emma and Lucas sitting together on the campus hill at sunset, the sky painted in hues of pink and orange. They watched in silence, hearts heavy but full, knowing that soon they would be forced to part. In that quiet, fleeting moment, they understood that love is not only about permanence but also about intensity, the ability to touch someone's heart so profoundly that the memories endure even when distance separates them. Their journey had reached its most tender and emotional stage, a delicate dance between joy and sorrow, love and loss. The shadow of goodbye loomed large, yet the love they shared remained unshakable, a testament to the beauty and fragility of human connection, a story of hearts intertwined in a fleeting but unforgettable moment in time. The final days of the semester at Ashton University arrived with a heavy sense of inevitability. The campus, once alive with laughter, chatter, and the vibrant energy of student life, now seemed quieter, tied with the awareness that endings were near. Emma and Lucas walked through the familiar paths together, the crisp autumn air carrying the faint scent of fallen leaves. Every glance, every touch, and every shared smile felt more precious than ever, as if the universe itself was urging them to savor each fleeting moment. They had spent the past months creating memories that would last a lifetime, quiet walks through the paths, evenings spent under the oak tree, shared study sessions, laughter echoing through library halls, and countless small gestures of love and care. But now, the shadow of Lucas's departure loomed larger than ever, an unavoidable reality that both of them had tried to postpone in thought and conversation. One chilly afternoon, they climbed the hill overlooking the campus, a place that had become a sanctuary for them, a spot where they had shared dreams, fears, and confessions. The wind swept past them, carrying with it the final remnants of autumn leaves, and Lucas took Emma's hands in his, holding them tightly. "Emma," he said softly, "I don't know how to say goodbye." Emma's eyes glistened with ancient tears. "I know," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I don't want this to end either." They stood together in silence, the magnitude of their emotions filling the space between them. Every heartbeat seemed amplified, every shared glance weighted with the knowledge that soon they would be forced apart. Memories of laughter, whispered secrets, and tender moments flooded their minds, each one a testament to the love they had nurtured in a world that was constantly changing. Over the next few days, they clung to each other, savoring the present while dreading the inevitable separation. They revisited their favorite spots, the oak tree where they had first truly spoken, the pond where sunlight danced upon the water, and the quiet corners of the library that had witnessed their growing intimacy. Each moment became a treasure, each touch a reaffirmation of their bond. On the eve of Lucas's departure, they sat together in their favorite corner of the campus cafe, holding hands across the table. The room was filled with the soft murmur of other students, but for Emma and Lucas, it felt like a world apart. "Promise me something," Lucas said, his voice steady but laced with emotion. "Anything," Emma replied. "Promise me you'll keep chasing your dreams, no matter where life takes you. And remember us," he said, squeezing her hands tightly. Emma nodded, tears spilling freely now. "I promise," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. The day of departure arrived with a somber dawn. Lucas's belongings were packed, and the cab waiting outside signaled the finality of the moment. They walked together to the edge of the campus, hands entwined and willing to let go. Every step felt heavy, every glance backwards weighted with unspoken words. At the entrance, they stopped. Lucas held Emma close, wrapping his arms around her in a long, lingering embrace. "I'll never forget you," he murmured into her hair. Emma clung to him, tears streaming down her face. "Nor I you," she replied. "You'll always be a part of me." They pulled back reluctantly, their hands slowly separating as Lucas took a final step toward the cab. Emma watched, heart aching, as he climbed in, the vehicle pulling away and taking with it the presence that had become central to her life. She stood there for a long moment, the cold wind whipping around her, the world continuing on as if nothing had changed, though everything within her had shifted. In the days that followed, Emma wandered the campus alone, revisiting their favorite spots, holding on to memories, and finding solace in the love they had shared. The bittersweet reality set in. Lucas was gone, but their moments together, their shared laughter, confessions, and tender exchanges remained immortal in her heart. She realized that love does not always guarantee permanence, but it leaves an indelible mark that time cannot erase. Chapter 2 closed with Emma standing beneath the old oak tree, the wind rustling its branches as if whispering secrets to her. She closed her eyes, imagining Lucas beside her, feeling the warmth of his hand and the comfort of his presence. Though the farewell had been, she knew that their love, though brief, had been profound, transformative, and unforgettable. And in that quiet moment, she promised herself to carry the memories forward, letting them shape her, guide her, and remind her of the beauty and fragility of human connection. The story of Emma and Lucas concluded not with a happy ending, but with a realistic, heartfelt lesson that love, even when fleeting, has the power to leave lasting impressions, teach deep emotions, and create moments that linger long after goodbyes are spoken. Their university days, their love, and their parting would remain forever etched in their hearts, a testament to the bittersweet nature of life and love.